866-416-3472. Call now.
This is the great voice of the Great Lakes, 760 WJR, Detroit, a Cumulus media station.
A new statement from Iran's new leader, Lisa Brady, Fox News. It's a second written statement released on state media and quoting the supreme leader, offering condolences and vowing vengeance for the death of Iran's top security official, one of 3 top officials killed by Israeli strikes in the past 2 days, also including Iran's intelligence chief, whose oversight included suspected sleeper cells around the world. The decision to launch Operation Epic Fury dominating a Senate hearing on worldwide threats.
The National Intelligence Director, Tulsi Gabbard, told the Senate Intelligence Committee,
the IC assesses the regime in Iran appears to be intact but largely degraded due to attacks on its leadership and military capabilities.
Committee ranking member Mark Warner questioned why Gabbard's written testimony states Iran's nuclear facilities were obliterated, but failed to read that part of her statement out loud.
I recognize that the time was running long, and I skipped through some of the portions.
So you chose to omit the parts that can contradict the president.
The president has said the facilities were obliterated. President Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, reported in February Iranian negotiators told him they possessed more than 400 pounds of highly enriched uranium.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. The president is attending a dignified transfer for 6 U.S. service members killed during a refueling plane accident over Iraq, while his administration takes steps to stabilize oil prices.
The Treasury Department is easing some sanctions on Venezuela's state-owned oil and gas company, allowing that company to sell oil directly to U.S. firms and the global market. At the same time, President Trump has signed a 60-day waiver to the century-old Jones Act, which requires vessels transporting goods or passengers between ports in the U.S. to be American-built, owned, or crewed.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. A Fox News alert from the Fed, just leaving interest rates alone, unchanged for the second time this year after 3 rate cuts last year. America is listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Sponsored by Mary Grove Awnings. 48 hours, you could be sitting in the shade this week. Mary Grove, motorized, no crank. Built in Detroit for over 90 years. Book your free appointment now at marygrove.com or by calling 1-800-44-AWNING. We've got an accident on Ford Road at North Haggerty Road. Traffic being directed around that area. Use an alternate route like Warren Road or Cherry Hill Road. The I-275 southbound off-ramp to westbound M14 closed until early November. I-275 northbound and southbound off-ramps to Ford Road still blocked due to that crash on Ford Road. And 14 Mile Road closed in both directions between Drake Road and Farmington Road due to a broken water main. Please avoid that area until further notice. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Cloudy skies this afternoon. We might get some snow showers, a high of 35. Cloudy skies for tonight as well. Rain showers after midnight, a low of 31. Overcast Thursday with a high of 47. I'm Rich Luzensky, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Probate is bad. It takes time, it costs money, and everything becomes public record. The best way to avoid probate is with a revocable living trust. A revocable living trust keeps you in control. Who receives your assets, what they receive, and when they receive it. My friends at Estate Planning Legal Services have been serving Metro Detroit for over 25 years, and they make it simple. Call Estate Planning Legal Services for your free consultation today at 248-435-0400 or go to eplspc.com.
Visit Old St. Patrick Catholic Church for their 48th annual Lenten Fish Fry dinners every Friday, February 20th through March 27th from 4:30 till 7 p.m. Dinners include fish, choice of potato or mac and cheese, salad, and a beverage. Adult meals are $18 with discounts for seniors and children. Kids 4 and under eat free. St. Patrick Catholic Church is located at 5671 Whitmore Lake Road in Ann Arbor. For more information, visit stpatricka2.org.
Say hello to another great voice. This is JR Afternoon with Ryan Ermanni on 760 WJR.
Hey, let's go on a Wednesday, March 18th, 2026. Ryan Ermanni, JR Afternoon. Beth Ann Long, Danielle Mason across the glass. Hopefully everybody is getting along great on this midweek afternoon in the city of Detroit. Back in studio today. Now, Beth Ann was with me. Danielle was also there. Ladies, at the Paul W. Smith St. Patrick's Day special extravaganza, the afternoon fun. Did you ladies have some fun yesterday, Beth Ann?
It was fun. It's so cool seeing like all these people, especially from the producer side, who like I text like regularly and like finally getting to like meet them in person is so nice.
It is great. Now, Danielle, you as well got an opportunity to get out of the station, out of the control room for a change.
Out of the box.
How did it feel to be out of the box?
It was great. I was scaring people. And I also asked the band to play Baba O'Reilly for me, and they did it on the spot. You missed that.
That band was something else because they had to play in between kind of segments.
They were impressive.
Yeah,
it was impressive.
That was crazy.
I think it was impressive how many people we stuck inside of that room at Doyle's Irish Pub as well.
I was there like 40 minutes before you, and like I couldn't walk around for a while. I was like, I can't believe we have this many people here.
It's kind of funny. Paul W. Smith's show was over. Paul sat there for a minute and was talking to everybody. And then as soon as he got up, everybody left. I said, hey, where are you going?
The greatest show on WJR is still happening.
No, that was awesome to see. And as Paul had mentioned, he's been doing that for 30 plus years, and JP McCarthy before him. So to be a part of that was pretty awesome. And again, it was great to be on the road with you two ladies as well. We've got a great show for you today. We are going to talk about a number of different issues. One issue that I am really interested in is how this war is being covered. And we're going to get into that. I'm really excited about that topic. Also, going to talk about youth sports and the craziness of youth sports. We'll get into the Oscars ratings. We'll talk about Operation Epic Fury as well. A lot happening. But I do want to start with the breaking news that literally just happened about 3 minutes ago. The Federal Reserve has decided to hold rates steady. That is a second straight Fed meeting that they have held rates steady. The first, though, this is the first rate decision since the start of the Iran strikes that have been happening. So no rate change. And again, we are going to get a new Federal Reserve chairman come May. So we'll see what happens when that new Fed chairman takes over, because to have rates remain steady, and we'll dive into more of that tomorrow. This news just happened within minutes, so we'll get some financial analysis on tomorrow's program. Meantime, J.D. Vance, the Vice President of the United States, was in Auburn Hills. He was speaking at the Engineering Design Services, Inc. before a couple hundred people. It was a small gathering. He spoke for less than an hour. He spoke about topics such as the war with Iran, manufacturing in Michigan, the auto industry, voter ID, and gas prices. Here's what the vice president had to say about gas prices.
Look, gas prices are up, and we know they're up, and we know that people are hurting because of it, and we're doing everything that we can to ensure that they stay lower. I will say, the president said this, and I certainly agree with it. This is a temporary blip. Okay, what happened under the Biden administration is the gas prices were high for 4 years. Gas prices are higher right now. And frankly, they're not even as high as they were during certain parts of the Biden administration because of what's going on in the Middle East. It's not going to last forever. We're going to take care of business. We're going to come back home. And when that happens, you're going to see energy prices come back down to reality. But in the meantime, we got a problem. We know that we have a problem. We're doing everything that we can to address it.
I do like the way the vice president handled that last part of it, because people do and are reminded every time they go to the gas pump. And I talk about this a lot when it came to Joe Biden and the economy. And I also say it with Donald Trump and the economy. You cannot tell people that they aren't experiencing financial hardship when they can't meet their bills at the end of the month, when they go to the gas pump and they cannot pay for gas, or at least it's eating into their monthly budget or weekly budget more so than it has been over the last several months, and especially over the last year, when they go to the grocery store and experience the price of beef and the price of eggs. And now I know the price of eggs has significantly come down. I'm just using that as an example. You can't tell everybody that things are all sunshine and rainbows when people are really struggling. The cost of energy, I mean, the cost every month, your DTE bill, your gas bill has increased this winter more so than really ever before. I was just talking to somebody that had their DTE bill essentially double this year compared to last. So again, for at least the vice president to acknowledge that people are hurting and hopefully doing something about it. They've released some oil reserves across the from the excess reserve. So we'll see what happens here, and we'll see how quickly these prices will come down. It is a small price to pay. It is really hard when you're in it. There is no doubt about that. But if, and it is a big if, but at least you got a chance here to have some semblance of peace in the Middle East. If you can, and again, I understand this is a big if, okay? If you can remove the threat of Iran doing mass damage to people all over the Middle East and beyond through proxies and through their own state-sponsored government terrorist operation in Iran, if you can remove that, if you've got 4, 5, 6 weeks of high gas prices, is that worth it to you? 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. Now, war is completely unpredictable. You can absolutely have a blueprint. You can absolutely have a game plan, but things do change. If the expectation is to be out of there in the next 2, 3, heaven forbid, 4 weeks, what would success look like? Because another top Iranian leader was killed today. Israel says they've taken out Iran's intel minister, Ismail al-Khatib, the man responsible for managing sleeper cells around the world. He even threatened U.S. politicians and President Trump. It's being reported that Khatib was the only man that survived the initial strikes that killed Iran's supreme leader. So we can talk about that and so much more. Would love your take on all of these stories. 800-859-0957. We're just getting started. And again, we welcome in everybody on 760 WJR, and you can even stream us live on YouTube. And we hope you subscribe to 760 WJR on YouTube. It will not cost you a thing. It'll just make it easier for you to find us. You could even pop us up on your big screen TV at home while you're getting your chores done. Maybe getting a little work done. Have us on in the background. 760 WJR.
This St. Patrick's Day, the real luck is waiting at Genesis Cadillac. Celebrating with offers that'll make everyone green with envy. Right now, get 2.9% APR for 60 months plus rebates up to $2,000 on select new Cadillac models. Looking for pre-owned? Shop one of the area's largest selections of certified pre-owned Cadillacs. Visit our 9 Mile Road in St. Clair Shores or shop online today at genesiscadillac.com. Then, drive home to your own pot of gold. Genesis Cadillac. Your luck starts here.
Hey, Adam Devine here. Looking for a way to make a big change for all kids in your community? Just look for the balloon. When you see the Children's Miracle Network balloon at your local store, restaurant, or gas station, your donation provides crucial funds for local children's hospitals. Hospitals that provide life-changing care for all kids. Children's Miracle Network. Hospitals, partners, programs, and donors like you. Learn more at cmn.org.
Hey there, homeowners. Living in Michigan means enjoying the beauty of all 4 seasons, but it also comes with unpredictable weather. Weather that can cause power surges, which can pose serious threats to appliances, heating and cooling systems, and expensive electronics. Crystal here from Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical to let you know that whole home surge protectors can save you thousands in potential damages and give you peace of mind. Visit familyheating.com to find the location nearest you and ask about our whole home surge protectors today. That's familyheating.com.
When your money's on the line, are you okay with a basic free tax service? Get the confidence of TurboTax with free Fed and state filing on Intuit Credit Karma. Around 37% of filers qualify. Simple 1040s only. See details at turbotax.com/free.
Detroit celebrates the power of women. From the Henry Ford Museum to the Regional Chamber, we're honoring our trailblazers. Join us for local summits, jazz tributes, and community workshops through the month of March. It's time to give, to gain, and lift every voice. Find a full list of International Women's Month events at visitdetroit.com. Let's move Detroit forward together.
I'm Ann Thomas. Congratulations to the 2026 Women Who Lead class. Renee Fluker, founder and CEO of College Career Beyond Midnight Golf, is proud of her program.
From 17 to over 3,000 young people that we still stay in contact with. I'm doing a database now. The first Midnight Golf kids up until 2018, and you should see their careers.
Special thanks to University of Michigan Health, Von Voigtlander Women's Hospital for supporting Women Who Lead.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by Boeing at thumbcoasttheaters.com. Experience live professional theater at Thumb Coast Theaters in downtown St. Clair and Marine City, where the magic of Broadway comes alive. Right here at home, don't miss Boeing, a hilarious comedy where one flight captain, 3 fiancés, and a flight schedule collide. Book your tickets today at thumbcoasttheaters.com. Watch out for a wreck on Ford Road at Haggerty Road. Use an alternate route at this time like Warren Road or Cherry Hill. The I-275 northbound and southbound off-ramps to Ford Road blocked by that accident as well. Moving roadwork slowing you down on I-94 eastbound between Van Dyke and Vernier. That's until 3 p.m. Another midday work crew on I-96 eastbound between Kent Lake Road and Milford. We still have that construction project on the southbound Southfield Freeway approaching the Lodge to 8 Mile. Both of those projects should wrap up by 2:30 this afternoon. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Getting back to average tomorrow and some above average temperatures Friday, but it is another cold day today with some light snows on radar coming in from the northwest. The radar looks like wintertime instead of March. 35 this afternoon, 32 tonight. Cloudy on Thursday, high 46. Cloudy on Friday, high 57. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore at the Weather Channel on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Paul W. Smith delivers powerhouse interviews, real-time insight, and the sharp commentary listeners count on. Paul is smart, fast, and always ahead of the curve. Focus, noon till 2 on 760 WJR.
.760 WJR. I mentioned Operation Epic Fury. Another top Iranian leader was killed. The intel minister, Ismail al-Khatib, the man responsible for managing sleeper cells around the world, he has been taken out. That is after yesterday, Israeli forces continuing to carry out strikes in Beirut. Yesterday, Israel's defense minister said that a top Iranian official, Ali Larijani, is dead. He was killed in probably, it's being called, the most significant strike since the opening strike. Larijani was considered the de facto leader in the aftermath of Iran's former supreme leader, and the fact that we have no idea and we have yet to see the supreme leader of Iran currently. In a separate strike, they killed the commander of the Basij forces. He was responsible for the crackdown on protesters earlier this year. The president saying that 32,000 protesters were murdered, killed in Iran, and this leader was responsible for that. So 3 more top Iranian leaders killed in the last 2 days. And that brings us to what's currently happening with the Strait of Hormuz, because that is an area that the president is continuing to hammer our allies for. After their willingness or lack of willingness to help open the strait, and maybe that's not even the proper way to say it, to open the strait, because the strait is open. But nobody wants to take $1 billion ship through that choke point without some sort of security assurance. Here's what the president said just yesterday about our NATO allies.
I'm not exactly thrilled when we helped them with Ukraine. Look, Ukraine would have been over in 1 day if we didn't help. Frankly, Ukraine would have been over in the first day. They had the best equipment in the world. It was our equipment given by Sleepy Joe Biden. No charge, no charge. Hundreds of billions of dollars of the best equipment in the world, no charge. I will say that I'm not happy about it.
He is really upset about it. Lindsey Graham talking about how the president, he had a call with the president, and he made it clear that he was not happy at all with our NATO allies. He went on Truth Social. I'm just going to read this to you. He said, the United States has been informed by most of our NATO allies that they do not want to get involved with our military operation against terrorist regime of Iran in the Middle East. This, despite the fact that almost every country strongly agreed that we are doing that we agreed with what we are doing, and that Iran cannot in any way, shape, or form be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. I'm not surprised by their action, however, because I also considered NATO, where we spend hundreds of billions of dollars per year protecting these same countries, to be a one-way street. We will protect them, but they will do nothing for us, in particular in our time of need. It does certainly feel like a one-way street when it comes to NATO, at least recently. The president went on to talk about the war in Ukraine. He says that is not our war. The United States is helping to protect our NATO countries. And speaking of the war in the war in Ukraine, whose war is that? Who does that help? 800-859-0WJR, 800-859-0957. Because when it comes to NATO, especially now, it does appear to be a one-way street. The reliance on the United States for money, the reliance on the United States for weapons, the reliance on the United States for protection, when they need it, it's given. But heaven forbid if the U.S. were to ever say no to any of these countries, my goodness, what would the reaction be at that point? I mean, you can't send a few ships to help escort some boats carrying oil for you? That doesn't seem like a great partnership, does it? Was that a great friend? It doesn't feel like a great friend. As for the money spent on the war, we see all these lawmakers now. I saw Bernie Sanders last night. He posted $22 billion spent on the war. He has never once mentioned the $275 billion spent on the war in Ukraine. We all use these arguments to fit any narrative or to fit any box that you want. I mean, if you think about it, there was just $9 billion worth of fraud uncovered in Minnesota. $9 billion of fraud. If you just took the fraud out of Minnesota, you would have been able to pay for half of the war or half of the military operations in Iran alone, just by wiping out fraud. I don't see Senator Sanders or anybody else, by the way, commenting on that, and has never mentioned how much money the United States is spending on the war in Ukraine. But now, all of a sudden, we have money that is brought into this. What do you make of that? 800-859-0957. Let me bring in Dave in Rochester. Let's do it. Hey, Dave, how you doing? You're on 760 WJR.
Yeah, Ryan. I can't believe your recitation of non-facts.
Oh, okay. What's a non-fact?
Yeah,
What's a non-fact,
first of all,
Dave?
First of all, this war was not even justified. We know that for a fact.
What's the fact?
The fact there was no imminent threat. That was
How do you know that? Wait, let me ask you. Hold on, Dave. How do you know that? Don't yell at me, Dave. Don't yell at me. Dave, this is what. See, Dave, hold on. Hold on. Keep them up. Dave, this is why I don't put you on, okay? I just want you to know this. Out of the goodness of my heart, I know where you stand. I am trying to have a thoughtful discussion with you. And you come on here and start yelling at me. I am not yelling at you. I took your call because you call every day. And I don't put you on because you just come on and start shouting and start screaming like it's the Bill O'Reilly show of 2005. Okay? Now, I'll keep you up. I'll give you a minute, make a point, and then move on. But you can't lie. So go for it.
Okay. You're the one, Ryan. Your lies are documented in your podcast every day. They're reviewable.
Okay.
The fact that there was no justification for the war. Okay, you're telling me these NATO allies, after what Trump did to them, lied to them, are going to help out when we initiated this war? You know, those oilers tankers, you know, oil is inflammable. Why would they want to get involved in this? Okay, you're equating Ukraine to this.
Yes,
those are like the two most opposites.
Well, I'm just equating the money spent, Dave. I'm just equating the money spent, and I appreciate it. Thank you for your call. And I will tell you, Dave, how do you know? Were you in the room? Do you have the intelligence that Iran was not capable of getting their hands on a nuclear weapon when they said that they had enough enriched uranium to make 11 nuclear bombs? That was their starting point of a negotiation. That's where they began. I'm not going to take their word for it that they're bluffing me at all. You might want to take that chance. We've had presidents try to take that chance. This one's not going to do that. 800-859-0957. 800-859-0957. We'll take more of your phone calls and get into how this war is being covered. 760 WJR. Dave.
I love learning about long-standing Michigan family businesses, and one I'm proud to tell you about is Guernsey Farms Dairy. As a mom, I want to make sure my child gets the vitamins she needs to grow healthy, and something that helps her get that is drinking Guernsey Farms Dairy milk. Their award-winning milk, ice cream, lemonade has been a staple in Michigan fridges for over 80 years. When John McGuire started Guernsey Farms Dairy, he had a vision, and now it's continued with the family's third generation. John wanted to create a legacy for his family and the community, and the McGuire family is proud to continue that work today. I've been fortunate to see firsthand how they make their products and learn about the tradition when I met with the family. Remember, when looking for Guernsey's award-winning milk, ice cream, and lemonade, make sure to visit your local grocer, or you could stop by their store and restaurant in Northville for an experience like no other.
Quality that's delicious, that's the Guernsey difference.
March is your lucky month at the Nerve and Disc Institute in Farmington, Clinton Township, Grand Blanc, and Bad Axe. Hi, it's Paul W. Smith. Thousands of people, like my wife Kim and I, feel extremely lucky that our chronic back, neck, and knee pain are gone, thanks to our lucky charm, Dr. Saul Kogan. His non-surgical, non-invasive intradisc neutrosis and knee restore RX treatments stimulate the body's self-repair healing process. If you have spinal stenosis, herniated, bulging, or degenerative discs, sciatica pain or numbness, tingling or burning in your hands, arms, or legs, you're in luck. When you mention WJR in March, you'll get a consultation, examination, x-ray, or MRI review, and a laser treatment for just $49 for your first visit at the Nerve and Disc Institute. Your luck is about to change for the better. Call 586-416-DISC. That's 586-416-3472. Call now.
Fox News, I'm Tom Graham. The Senate holding a hearing today on worldwide threats as the war rages against Iran.
Threats from Iran or affiliated countries may be top of mind, but again, this hearing about many different threats facing the United States, including the drug flow across the southern border. Also, the threat posed by Russia and North Korea and China.
Fox's David Spunt. Israel continues to target Iranian leadership. Fox's Trey Yinks is in Tel Aviv.
The Israelis launched a precision strike to kill Ismail Khatib, Iran's intelligence minister, a man who was responsible in part for taking down the internet in Iran. You can see some file video of him here. He was also responsible for coordinating the sleeper cells of the Iranian regime around the world.
Iranian state TV confirming the death. The Federal Reserve announcing today it will leave interest rates unchanged. America is listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Sponsored by the National Electrical Contractors Association, NECA. Put the expertise and skill of NECA contractors to work on your commercial, industrial, or public electrical construction project. NECA members like DF Best are powering Michigan's future, project after project, on time and on budget. Learn more at smcneca.org. We have an accident on Ford Road at Haggerty Road and another wreck on I-94 westbound at Little Mac. Now WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Cloudy skies this afternoon. Might get some snow showers, a high of 35. Cloudy skies for tonight as well. Rain showers after midnight, a low of 31. Overcast Thursday with a high of 47. I'm Rich Luzensky, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Hey, gang, it's Ryan Ermanni here. I want to tell you about my friends at Paramount Roofing. You know, living in Michigan, March is when we start to see what winter has done to our homes. All that snow, all that ice, all that wind, it takes a toll on your roof. That is why my friend Eric Reno and his team want to help you all out. They showed me how they make the whole process incredibly easy. I actually have them coming to my house next week. And all you need to do to get them out to see you is visit weareroofing.com. You're going to get an instant free quote, a free roof quote. No waiting, no pressure, just real information. What I love is their approach. Everything is built to last and backed for life. They truly deliver a 5-star roofing experience made easy from start to finish. If you're worried about time and budget, don't. Paramount Roofing, they offer no money down, plus 5 years, 0% interest, which makes protecting your home or your business a whole lot more manageable. And they handle everything, whether it's your home, your office, or the property that you manage. Residential, commercial, they've got you covered. Spring is coming, Michigan. Now it's time to check on that roof before the heavy rains arrive. Get your instant free quote today at weareroofing.com. That's weareroofing.com. Paramount Roofing.
This is Maria Monti, tax partner at Metro Detroit accounting firm Schindel Rock, with our weekly tax tip for business owners. Whether you just started your business or have been in business for many years, you should make sure your current entity structure still makes sense. Tax laws are always changing, and the tax structure you started out with may not be as effective for what your business is today or what it will be in the future. Schindel Rock helps Metro Detroit businesses solve complex tax matters. Learn more at schindelrock.com.
Welcome to Making the Impossible Possible with Henry Ford Health. And with us today is cardiologist Dr. Corey Russell. From the routine to leading edge breakthroughs at Henry Ford, healthcare is more than high tech. It's human. And Dr. Russell, how does this impact your work?
That's so true. As a physician, what we do is intrinsically personal. It's incredibly important to me to maintain that human connection with my patients. My goal is to help my patients feel better and continue living longer, happier lives with their loved ones. That truly makes me happy.
Well, that's wonderful. And Henry Ford is a nonprofit. How does this impact the care you give as a physician?
Because Henry Ford Health is a nonprofit, our donors and their gifts power the advancements that help us improve and save more lives every day. Philanthropy is the difference maker that enables the next level of exceptional patient-centered care, leading-edge research, clinical training excellence, and broad community impact.
Great. Cardiovascular care is part of your Detroit expansion plans. Can you share more?
Cardiovascular care will be one of the specialties in the new hospital facility currently being built at our Detroit campus. Thanks to donor support, we can continue to engage in the most advanced research while investing in the best equipment and technology available, all to improve our patients' lives.
To learn more or make a gift, visit henryford.com/above and beyond.
Lanier in transition hits the three, and a sign of life from Knoxville. Plant driving right. Lob for Brazil and a two-hand slam. 6 on the clock. Now with 5, he drives on Maddox. Right elbow is raised, spins to the foul line. Jumper up and it rattles in at the buzzer.
Don't miss any of this year's action on the road to the Final Four with Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the men's NCAA tournaments.
Sponsored by Tryon. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
Wake up tomorrow with JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on 760 WJR. Right now, it's JR Afternoon with Ryan Ermanni.
Thanks, everybody, for making us part of your day here on 760 WJR. And if you watch it on YouTube or if you're in your car driving home and you want to continue the conversation, just pop us up on YouTube. Have us in the background as you go about your day. We'd appreciate it. We are continuing to talk about the president and his, really, he's just furious with NATO, saying that we spend hundreds of billions of dollars per year protecting these same countries. It is a one-way street. We will protect them. They will do nothing for us. That's just how he feels about it. He made an equivalence to the war in Ukraine. Whose war is that? We've spent about $275 billion on the war in Ukraine, and we've got Democratic lawmakers who are bashing this administration for spending $22 billion so far on the Iran strikes. There's a lot going on in the world and in this country. Let me get to Rob in Sterling Heights. How you doing, Rob? You're on 760 WJR.
Hey, good, Ryan. How are you today?
Real good. Real good.
I tell you what, I think some opponents are portraying a lose-lose scenario. They're saying you have no evidence that Iran is going to be an imminent threat to the U.S. Well, every past president said they are. And then what happens if Iran does get the bomb? Then what they're going to say is, hey, you knew about this and you didn't do anything about it. It's kind of the same scenario as General Soleimani. He was going to attack a U.S. base in Iraq, and they stopped him and they killed him. They said, well, you had no evidence he was going to do that. And then if he did attack a base in the U.S. and killed our soldiers, you know what they would say? They would say, well, you knew about it and you didn't do anything to stop it. So it's always going to be a lose-lose scenario.
Well,
so that's what they're portraying right now.
Rob, it's kind of like North Korea as well, to a certain extent, because it's now too late to prevent North Korea from having a nuclear weapon. If Iran were to get their hands on a nuclear weapon, they would use it, right? I mean, there's no doubt about that. They would blow up the Middle East. I'm not sure anybody really disputes that. And who defines whether or not, who is in that room? Who has all that intelligence? Because you could go back 40 years from the time Ronald Reagan was the president, and he talked about Iran and the threat that they pose to the United States. Every president has said what they wouldn't allow Iran to do. Nobody was willing to do anything about it, and we're in the situation that we're in because of it. the same old has not been working. Is that, can we agree on that? How we've been dealing with Iran, whether it was Joe Biden, the first Trump administration, Barack Obama, George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, it hasn't been working.
I agree with you, and I think that we've tried everything from negotiations, diplomacy, paying them money, sanctions, cyber attacks on them, and nothing has stopped them from trying to get the bomb. That's their ultimate goal. And to tell you the truth, that would be a huge game changer, not only in the Middle East, but probably globally. They would affect a lot of things if they did have a bomb.
Totally
And you
agree
don't
with
want
that.
to happen.
Thanks so much for the call, Rob. Let me get to this. Let me move the discussion to this, if I may. And it's how the war is being covered. And if you were listening at the top of the show, I went through all of the different successes that we have seen over the last 48 hours specifically. 3 more top Iranian leaders were killed in the last 2 days. Iran's ability to retaliate is diminished. They are still able to inflict damage. They bombed a cluster missile hit central Israel just yesterday, killing at least 2 people. So they are able to retaliate a little bit. It is greatly diminished. And if you watch ABC, NBC, CNN, read the New York Times, read the Washington Post, you would think the United States has absolutely no clue what it's doing right now. I mean, you're taking statements from Iranian leaders and running with them. For instance, Iran is saying that they are not targeting civilians. They just blew up an apartment building. They say they're not targeting Gulf countries. They're targeting Gulf countries every day. They say that they're not mining the Strait of Hormuz. The United States has taken out 30 mine-laying ships. They've been destroyed. Anything that many in the media can do to shape a narrative that is unfavorable to the president or this administration, they will go with. And we've even seen it locally here. The attack last week at Temple, Israel. The IDF, Israel Defense Forces, posting, quote, intelligence reveals brother of terrorist behind U.S. synagogue attack was a Hezbollah terrorist. Hezbollah commander Ibrahim Mohammed Ghazali, responsible for managing weapons operations within a specialized branch of the Badr unit. The unit is responsible for launching hundreds of rockets towards Israeli civilians throughout the war. His brother, Ayman Mohammed Ghazali, carried out the terror attack in Michigan this past Thursday. Ibrahim was eliminated in an IAF strike on Hezbollah military structure last week. Why isn't that everywhere? Why isn't that part of the story? What happened locally here, we're seeing that. And that brings us to Al Jazeera, the media network, the Qatar-based global news organization. Their summation of the war is perhaps the best look at what is actually happening without the political noise that has infiltrated our media here in this country. I'm going to give you a snapshot of that next, and I'd love to know if you agree or disagree with that. But I thought this was as encapsulating an article as I have read about this war and where we are 2+ weeks into it. I'll give you that coming up next. Don't go anywhere. If you want to get in, 800-859-0WJR, 800-859-0957, 760 WJR.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolade spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-902-5454. That's 800-902-5454. 800-902-5454.
I'm Adam Devine, Chief Fundraiser for Children's Miracle Network. We'll fun it up. It better be fun. Have you ever wondered how our network actually works? Oh, wonder no more. With the support of partnering businesses and individual donors, we help raise crucial funds for 170 children's hospitals across the United States and Canada. Hospitals that provide life-changing care for all kids. Visit us online at cmn.org.
Your child's education is the foundation for tomorrow's leaders. Listen every Sunday at 3 p.m. for School Talks, hosted by Dr. Robert Livernoy. A conversation on all things education, from parents and students to educators and policymakers. School Talks is dedicated to in-depth discussions and analysis with experts on a wide range of topics in education. Sponsored by the law firm of O'Reilly Rancilio, advising and representing school districts for all of their legal needs for more than 40 years. Get details at orlaw.com. Michigan's largest real estate and home improvement show is coming to Metro Detroit, March 28th and 29th at the Oakland Expo Center in Waterford. Meet builders, designers, realtors, lenders, and home improvement experts all in one place. Get real-world advice on buying, selling, renovating, staging, and creating standout home designs. Whether you're a homeowner, future buyer, or real estate professional, there's something for everyone, including family activities, prize drawings, and interactive exhibits. You could win tickets on us. Text keyword HOME to 800-859-0957. For full expo details, visit largestrealestateshow.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Think It Up. Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by Paramount Roofing. A new roof doesn't have to wait. With Paramount Roofing, pay no money down and enjoy 5 years at 0% interest. Get your instant free roof quote now at weareroofing.com. Built to last, backed for life for homes and businesses alike. Paramount Roofing, roofing made easy. Watch out for a wreck on Ford Road and Haggerty Road. Use an alternate route at this time like Warren Road or Cherry Hill. And we also have an accident on I-94 westbound after Harper Avenue. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Winter just does not want to let go of Michigan. We're still tracking quite a lot of snow coming in from the north. The UP has had a lot of snow here this week for St. Patrick's Day. Our high today, 35 with a few snow showers left over. Low tonight, 32. Tomorrow, cloudy, not as cold, high 46. Friday, cloudy up to 57. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore at the Weather Channel on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
760 WJR. We're talking about how the war is being covered, and I call it a war. Look, whatever technical term you want to use, military operation, that's fine. I understand it. It looks a lot like war to me. But I would like to pursue how it's being covered because, again, if you watch any of the networks, ABC, NBC, CNN, You read the New York Times, the Washington Post, you think this is just the biggest bungled mess that we've ever been involved in militarily in the history of the country. You take the word of Iran, somebody that has been not only an adversary, but somebody that has been your enemy for 47 years, somebody that is state-sponsored terrorism, somebody that has killed countless Americans, and it feels pretty slanted in the coverage. Anything you can do to make the president or this administration look bad, look weak, you'll take that opportunity. Many in the media will take that opportunity. And I saw this from Al Jazeera. It's making the rounds on social media. It's a really good look at what's really happening from a global perspective. Al Jazeera, the media network, a Qatar-based global news organization. I'm just going to read a little bit of this to you, and I'd love your take on it at 800-859-0WJR, 800-859-0957. If you're watching YouTube, I like everything printed out, too, by the way. I've got it all here. I'm still a nerd that loves hard copy pieces of paper. But nonetheless, here's what it says. 2 weeks into Operation Epic Fury, the dominant narrative has settled into a comfortable groove. The United States and Israel stumbled into a war without a plan. Iran is retaliating across the region. Oil prices are surging, and the world is facing another Middle Eastern quagmire. U.S. senators have called it a blunder. Cable news has tallied its crises. Commentators have warned of a long war. The chorus is loud and in some respects understandable. War is ugly, and this one has a real cost on millions of people across the Middle East, including the city I live in. But this narrative is wrong, not because the costs are imaginary, but because the critics are measuring the wrong things. They're cataloging the price of the campaign while ignoring the strategic ledger. It goes on to say, when you look at what has actually happened to Iran's principal instruments of power, its ballistic missile arsenal, its nuclear infrastructure, its air defenses, its navy, its proxy command architect, the picture is not one of U.S. failure. It is one of systematic, phased degradation of a threat that previous administrations allowed to grow for 4 decades. I write this from Doha, where Iranian missiles have triggered alerts for residents to take shelter, and Qatar Airways has started operating evacuation flights. I lived through 4 years of war in Baghdad. I worked for the U.S. Department of State and advised defense and intelligence agencies in multiple countries. I have no interest in cheerleading for war. Do you agree or disagree with that assessment? I think that is as clear a picture, as total a picture, as whole a story as you will get regarding this war. And it came from a global news network, a global news operation, one that has not cheerleaded a war, but who has certainly documented the successes of this war and the potential impact that success in this region could have on the United States and the world for decades to come. And you will not see that whole of a picture by reading the New York Times or the Washington Post or watching CNN or ABC Nightly News or NBC Nightly News or ABC World News, whatever the case may be. You literally have to seek out truth. And that's an incredible place to be. 800-859-0957. Let me get to Les in Marysville. You are on 760. How you doing, Les?
Man, I love you. I don't know what you majored in college, but you had to do something. It's called plagiarizing. I mean, if you're sending your kid to college and they got to do a paper, and that's all they're doing, that same paper, that's plagiarizing. You get an E.
What do
you get?
What do you, I don't know what you're talking about. What did you?
Well, like what you're talking about on the media thing.
Yeah.
To go out and get your own idea.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? You got to have an open mind.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're going to write a paper and you're showing up in my professor class and everybody's got the same idea, I'm not teaching.
Well, that's true. The diversity of thought is not included in college. It doesn't appear to be any longer.
Exactly. Did you ever take any psych classes?
I did. Psychology was I think psychology was the only class in college that I actually learned anything from.
Well, thank you. And I had to take it to graduate.
Yeah.
And it was like, why?
Yeah.
Then you got to stand up and give your speech on that idea.
I was actually less, since you asked, I was actually an economics major, and I never took one class in broadcasting or journalism or anything like that in my life. So I think with me, what you see is what you get. It might not be very polished, but I'm just a regular guy that tries to tell it as best as I know it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If I had to sit in there in your college class, I would have listened. I respect you, sir.
Thank you very much,
do.
Les.
Thank you.
That means a lot to me. Thank you very much, Les. Let me get to Elizabeth in Shelby Township. You're on 760 WJR. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi there. I've heard you since you've first been on, and boy, you are good. I mean, you're just natural. Don't take any classes. They'll wreck you.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. That's very kind.
Okay, I hope we can end up being friends when I get done with this, because my attitude or my opinion on this whole thing doesn't please a lot of people. But I have said for ages that we whine and cry about 9/11, but we brought it on ourselves with our Middle East policy. And I take that stance. And now that you've read that Al Jazeera, that's it, dead nuts. And there's no fluff. There's no fancy stuff. There's nothing in there to make it get sold. There's, I just, this is Trump's lunge for, legacy, I think. And so he doesn't care about us. He cares about him. And that's,
Elizabeth, I think you just went out on us, and I want you to know that that's not us cutting your call off. That is something that happened to your phone. I apologize. And I would have had the discussion with you. I appreciate the kind words, and we'll try again at some point soon. All right. We could talk more about this if you'd like. If you want to get in, 800-859-0WJR. How do you believe this war is being covered with Iran? Is it fair? Is it thoughtful? What do you make of Al Jazeera's coverage of the war from a global perspective? We've got that. I also want to talk about the Oscar ratings, why the Oscar ratings have lost more than half of their audience in the last 10 years alone. Also, Joe Kent, counterterrorism director, he resigned over the Iran war. We've got a lot to cover in hour number 2. Sit tight. We'll get there, and we'll take more of your calls. I love talking to you. 760 WJR.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return,
But I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Escape to the greens with the Cardinal Stay and Play Golf Package at St. John's Resort. Enjoy luxury accommodations and 1 round of golf for 2 on the beautiful Cardinal Golf Course, plus unlimited rounds on the Little Cardinal and the putting course. Whether you're sharpening your short game or chasing the perfect drive, it's the ultimate getaway for golfers of every level. Relax, play, and make unforgettable memories. Book your stay and play experience today at stjohnsresort.com.
Spring is in the air. Hi, friends. Bill Golling here. And with the addition of Golling Chevrolet on Michigan Avenue in Wayne and Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Mack in Detroit, now even more of you can see and experience the Golling difference. Those dealerships join Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram locations in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, Roseville, Golling Alfa Romeo Fiat in Birmingham, Golling Buick GMC in Lake Orion, Golling Toyota in Warren, Golling Kia in Madison Heights, or you can always find us at golling.com.
WJR Detroit.
Operation Epic Fury.
For the second time since airstrikes were launched against Iran nearly 3 weeks ago, President Trump traveled to Dover Air Force Base in Delaware to participate in the dignified transfers of service members killed. 6 crew members died in the crash of a KC-135 refueling aircraft last week during combat operations against Iran. The plane went down in Iraq. A second aircraft involved in the incident was able to land safely. A total of 13 service members have been killed in the war and roughly 200 others wounded, the Pentagon says.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The president's decision-making on Iran, a main focus at a Senate hearing on worldwide threats with top intelligence officials.
Georgia Democratic Senator John Ossoff highlighted National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard's written testimony in which she wrote Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated and there had been no efforts to rebuild enrichment capability. Ossoff asked if despite that she considered Iran an imminent threat.
Yes or no?
It is not the intelligence community's responsibility to determine what is and is not an imminent threat.
Okay.
That is up to the president
here's the problem.
based on a volume
no,
of
it is
information
precisely
that he receives.
It is precisely your responsibility.
Gabbard says they do assess that the Iranian regime is intact but degraded, and said if it survives, they will try to rebuild their missile and drone forces.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Uncertainty at the Fed about how much fighting in the Middle East would impact the U.S. economy and for how long.
The thing I really want to emphasize is that nobody knows. You know, the economics effect could be bigger, they could be smaller, they could be much smaller or much bigger. We just don't know.
Chair Jerome Powell, as the Fed for now forecasts slightly higher growth and inflation this year and leaves interest rates unchanged. America is listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Sponsored by Boeing at thumbcoasttheaters.com. Experience live professional theater at Thumb Coast Theaters in downtown St. Clair and Marine City, where the magic of Broadway comes alive right here at home. Don't miss Boeing, the hilarious comedy where one flight captain, 3 fiancés, and a flight schedule collide. Book your tickets today at thumbcoasttheaters.com. Watch out for a wreck on Ford Road at Haggerty Road. Use an alternate route at this time like Warren Road or Cherry Hill. And that accident on I-94 westbound after Harper Avenue is cleared. Now WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the National Electrical Contractors Association, NECA. Put the expertise and skill of NECA contractors to work on your commercial, industrial, or public electrical construction project. NECA members like Matic Electric are powering Michigan's future, project after project, on time and on budget. Learn more at smcneca.org. Cloudy skies for the afternoon. Might get some snow showers, a high of 35. Clouds stick around for tonight. Rain showers after midnight will drop down to 31. Overcast Thursday with a high of 47. I'm Rich Luzensky, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. Their max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return, but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
At Michigan Auto Law, awards are nice, but winning means more than trophies. We've secured more million-dollar auto accident settlements and verdicts than any other law firm in Michigan. But what really defines us is how we take care of people like Kristen Hunt.
Thanks to this amazing team, I was able to focus on healing while they took care of everything else. They truly care about their clients, and they delivered incredible results.
That's what winning really looks like. If you've been injured in a car accident, go to autolaw.com. We handle everything so you can focus on getting your life back. Michigan Auto Law. People over everything.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-714-9090. That's 800-714-9090.
It's more than news. It's a conversation. This is JR Afternoon on WJR. Here's Ryan Ermanni.
Thanks to everybody for spending part of your day with us here on 760 WJR. Ryan Ermanni, JR Afternoon. Just before we get back into the discussion that we have been talking about, and that is how the war is being covered, I do want to get you caught up on some of the things that have happened today. Just within the last hour and 10 minutes or so, the Fed did say that they will interest rates will remain unchanged. This is the second straight Fed chair meeting that resulted in no change to the interest rates, but the first since the conflict in Iran. So I wanted to make that point. Also, J.D. Vance speaking here in Auburn Hills at the Engineering Design Services, Inc. Before a couple of hundred people, and he spoke for less than an hour, about 45 minutes or so, talked about a number of issues facing the country, from the war with Iran to manufacturing in Michigan, car sales, voter ID, gas prices, and everything in between. So he took questions from local media as well. And gas was among the biggest topics there. Let me just play this for you, actually. Here's what he had to say about the gas prices.
Look, gas prices are up, and we know they're up, and we know that people are hurting because of it, and we're doing everything that we can to ensure that they stay lower. I will say, the president said this, and I certainly agree with it. This is a temporary blip. Okay, what happened under the Biden administration is the gas prices were high for 4 years. Gas prices are higher right now. And frankly, they're not even as high as they were during certain parts of the Biden administration because of what's going on in the Middle East. It's not going to last forever. We're going to take care of business. We're going to come back home. And when that happens, you're going to see energy prices come back down to reality. But in the meantime, we got a problem. We know that we have a problem. We're doing everything that we can to address it.
So just to recap for you now, as we move this forward, 800-859-0957, 800-859-0957. 0WJR, how the war is being covered. I think a lot of people are trying to figure out what is happening in Iran. What is the success of this military operation for the United States? And I go back to this article that I read from Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera is a global outlet. Al Jazeera, the media network, a Qatar-based global news organization that I think had the best summation, and I'm not going to read it for you again, but I gave you a snapshot of what they said. Essentially, this author says, I am no cheerleader for war, but this is as successful as an operation as you will find. This, whatever picture the national media in the country is trying to paint one of U.S. failure or systematic degradation of a threat, this is a successful operation on every level. Iran's principal instruments of power, ballistic missile arsenal, nuclear infrastructure, air defense, navy, proxy command architecture, all eliminated. And that should be celebrated. Our men and women who are over there in the Middle East right now should be celebrated. And it does not appear like that's being the case. Certainly, again, if you watch ABC, NBC, CNN, and the Washington Post, the New York Times, they want you to believe that this administration and this president has no idea what they are doing. And it feels pretty clear that there are massive wins happening overseas right now in the Middle East. Let me get to the phone lines, bring in Patsy in Royal Oak. You're on 760 WJR. Hi, Patsy.
Hi, listen, Ryan. You deserve all the compliments you get, young man. You are amazing. And I love to hear you shake that paper. Anyway, I loved it. The kids need to do that. Kids need to do the paper. Anyway, so I'm really upset. People have their right opinions, but that woman that called before me, I had a daughter that was living in New York, taking classes. She went to state, and she went there, and she was living there for a while, and I visited her. And how she, I don't want to start to cry, that she said that, like Omar said in a certain number of words, that we deserve that from the Middle East. And how do they say that we start the war when the war was started in 2001 with 9/11? I don't understand that. All my family served. I got to talk to them. I was working. I got to talk to my one daughter called me and said what happened. My other daughter I got to talk to. When I was talking to her on the phone in New York, she was in a building working high up, and the second plane hit when I was on the phone with her.
It's incredible.
So these people, I wish you could get this one congressperson on. I have so much to say to you. We'd all love to have lunch with you, you know. So anyway,
maybe we can make that happen one day. Maybe we'll have a big group and make that happen, Patsy.
Oh my gosh, you're so intelligent. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but there is a congressman. Just let me say this. I happened to see her on the local news, which I only watch yours, and she I never heard of her before, and I vote all the time. Her name was Natalie Price. She was meeting with our mayor in Royal Oak just before it was going to happen. She said that she went to Minnesota because she objects ICE. ICE, you know what ICE stands for? Immigration, Custom, Enforcement.
Yeah.
I believe you could fact check. Did they start ICE right after 9/11, Ryan?
They did. They did. ICE began after 9/11. Yes.
Yeah. So she went there. Who did she meet with? Omar? I mean, what? Wait, I guess there was an illegal arrested in Royal Oak, and ICE came, and I didn't know about it. And one guy was at the meeting. They wouldn't even tell me why this illegal was arrested. So anyway, have a good day,
Patsy. Thanks for the kind words and the call, and maybe we'll do one big lunch one day. I don't know. I might need some security, though. I don't know. I'm just playing, but Patsy, we'll talk. Thanks so much, my friend. Let me get to Danny and Holly. You're on 760 WJR. Hi, Danny.
Ryan, how you doing, sir?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Great. Hey, I want to tell you, you are doing a fantastic job, and thank you for taking on this topic. It's a thorn in my side. It's been a thorn in my side for about 8 years. The media is as corrupt as anything I've ever seen, and it's driving me crazy. And I mean left, right, all of them. It's like a big, giant soapbox, and nobody can just talk about the issues rationally. It's getting beyond crazy.
Well, that's one of the years. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yep.
Well, I was just going to make the point. The last 4 years, what J.D. Vance said, Biden shut down the pipeline, gas prices went through the roof, and all we heard was, well, the president can't control prices. Well, now here we are 4 or 5 years later, and now gas is going up because of the conflict. I understand that. And now, well, it's all Trump's fault. So that's my statement. I just want to tell you, you're doing a great job, and thank you for taking on this topic.
I appreciate that, Danny, very much. Thank you so much. And look, I don't know what the reason is. I really don't. I mean, let's just even focus locally here. Why we have not seen the media, the national media, the front page of every news outlet in the country talk about the attack at the synagogue, Temple Israel, in West Bloomfield, and report what the IDF said about the brother of the alleged attacker, that he was a Hezbollah terrorist, a Hezbollah commander. The IDF is not putting that out unless they are absolutely certain of it. And it's just a small snippet of, you get an indication of, why don't we give the whole picture? Why don't we tell the whole story? Why are, again, I focus on the big ones, the ABC, the NBC, the CNNs, the Washington Post, the New York Times. Why do they omit so much of the story? For what reason? What is that reason? I'd love to know that. We can take more of your calls next. I do have a couple other things I want to get to as well, including the Oscars, including this commander that quit, resigned, counterterrorism commander. We can do it all next. Boy, we're having a day today. 760 WJR.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code AUTO for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code AUTO for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code AUTO for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
The Dan Bongino Show.
It's our movement, okay? It's ours. We built it.
Hard truths.
Remember, I just told you, flooding the zone with facts not related to evidence is not getting to truth, it's obscuring it. Don't accuse me of partisan bias here. This show tries to get to a truth lodestar by showing you things called evidence, not random facts unrelated to the point. Well, let's get to truth. Let's produce actual evidence. There's only one choice, man.
The Dan Bongino Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
See you there. When your money's on the line, are you okay with a basic free tax service? Get the confidence of TurboTax with free Fed and state filing on Intuit Credit Karma. Around 37% of filers qualify. Simple 1040s only. See details at turbotax.com/free.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by Weather Seal Home Improvements. This year, don't just get a tax refund, upgrade it. Turn your refund into a bigger return with a brand new roof from Weather Seal Home Improvements. Right now, they'll add an extra $1,000 to your refund toward your new roof. That's a smart deal. Book today at weathersealhomeimprovements.net. That's weathersealhomeimprovements.net. Ford Road now closed between Haggerty Road and I-275 due to that accident. Police are investigating an earlier fiery crash there between a car and a semi. And we've got some slow traffic on I-275 southbound between Ann Arbor Road and Ford Road. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Winter does not want to let go. It's another cold day today with the numbers well below average by about 10 or 15 degrees. High today 35 with some light snows on radar. Low tonight 32. Tomorrow cloudy, not as cold, high 46. Friday mostly cloudy, 57. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore at the Weather Channel on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
In a town built on grit, there's one voice that cuts through the noise. Afternoons, Michigan turns to Ryan Ermanni. Fearless, unfiltered, and impossible to ignore. It's JR Afternoon 2 till 4 on 760 WJR.
Let me get right back to the phone lines. Bring in Bill in Rochester. You're on 760 WJR. Hi, Bill.
Hey, Brian. The media will never cover Trump fairly. They haven't since 2015 because it just doesn't fit their narrative. And if you recognize my voice and kind of know that I'm a conservative, MAGA, there's three elements that I consider.
I had no idea, Bill. I had no idea. Just kidding.
Well, I group three entities that are terrible for the United States. First is the national media. Second, Congress. Third, the education system. My previous calls, I mentioned a lot of people ask, why is this going on? Because it doesn't make sense. I believe that it's been an ongoing effort of subversion for decades. If you start there and just start asking questions, because whenever I get in debate with people on the other side, I say, you should take everything I say and question it. Believe me, I'm wrong, and do your own homework. 9 times out of 10, they come my way. But 1 time out of 10, I kind of go their way because they point out some things. So that's kind of how
Bill,
it works.
I got to tell you, that point alone is, I think, so important. I love, and I was just talking to somebody about this on YouTube who, I don't know, he's like, I don't know. He was in the chat, in the live chat, and he was saying a couple of things. But I love having a discussion with people that can share ideas. And the one thing that we never hear from Democrats, let's just call it like it is, right now, is a solution to the problem. All I hear, and if you have a solution, if you've heard a solution, if you have one, please call me. Please send it my way. I'd love to see it. I'd love to read it. I'd love to talk about it. What would you have done if you started a negotiation? And again, this is the crux of the issue. There was a negotiation with Iran. The Iranian negotiators, the people in charge, said, and I keep repeating myself because this is where they started. They said they had enough enriched uranium to make 11 nuclear bombs. So the question I would have is, what would you have done? What would your answer be? What would your solution be to that? Because, Bill, you can complain all you want, not you, obviously, but you can complain and we didn't do it right and we shouldn't be there and there was no threat and there wasn't this, there wasn't that, we didn't do it the right way. Okay, what would you have done? Nobody has answered that question for me, and until or unless they do, this is what we got to go with.
I'd rather have the problem before a nuke was set off than after.
Clearly.
That's what we're looking at.
Right?
And not everything is going to be tidy. Going back to the media, it all started. I used to buy what the media said when I was a kid. It started changing when NBC News, and it's local, did their thing on exploding gas tanks on the full-size pickups by GM. And I remember everyone was running around with their hair on fire saying how bad that was and terrible with GM. Until it was exposed that it was a complete setup.
Yeah, I don't even remember that, Bill. I got to be honest with you. I don't even remember that story at all. I'm not disputing it. I'm not disputing it. I have no recollection or knowledge of that one.
It happened in the 80s. I worked at GM at the time. Big lawsuit. It was NBC News, and that started it. And in 30 years, 40 years since then, I'm a complete 180. I don't believe anything the national media says. I just ask questions and let my critical thinking skills, my common sense, my intuition kind of guide me. And most of the times I'm right. Some of the times I'm wrong.
Right.
But, most interesting, when it comes to national media, Bill Murray was on Joe Rogan. YouTube.
I watched that. Clip, I watched that. It was good.
Where he questioned, he makes him wonder if Richard Nixon's situation, Watergate, was kind of I don't want to say set up, but slanted.
I remember that. I remember exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's pretty telling. But so for me, like I said in the past, for anyone that's listening, if you want to take the time, just Google Yuri Bezmenov and just start from there and question and challenge everything that I
and Bill, let me just,
and you'll come to your own answer.
And Bill, just for the people out there that didn't see Bill Murray on the Joe Rogan podcast, what he said was there was an article written about John Belushi. And again, you correct me if I'm, stay on with me for a second. You correct me if I'm wrong. There was an article written on John Belushi, and Bill Murray said it was the most incredibly misleading, wrong piece he had ever read in his life, because he was there every step of the way and he knew exactly what was wrong. So he was like, if you get this wrong on John Belushi, what else are you getting wrong? And what else are you deliberately misleading people about? And that's how I remember that conversation. Do you remember it that way or something different?
No, that's pretty much spot on. And he just started questioning, and we're being played. And
well, yeah, and we could do this. I could do this with you all day, Bill, and I don't necessarily disagree with you at all. There are clear goals from national media to make this president and this administration look like they have no clue what they're doing, despite all the success that is happening right now in Iran. Let me get to Paul in Ontario. You're on 760 WJR. Hi, Paul.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
I'm just concerned. I have relatives in the Middle East, actually in Israel, and a lot of the alerts that they get have been incessant. They're living in a religious community in Bnei Brak, actually, and it's been nonstop for the last 2 weeks, and people don't have a clue as to how the situation is there with either Hezbollah or Iran firing rockets indiscriminately. They've been less and less, but every now and then we'll get a barrage of like maybe 50 to 100 rockets or drones. And I think people need to understand that if you were in that situation, the United States was in that situation, you would definitely fight back. You would definitely go to war. This is a necessary operation that needs to happen. It should have happened a long time ago. And I think that people should be ecstatic that they've been able to combat the Iranians the way they have in a victorious sort of manner, to totally dismantle their infrastructure, the military infrastructure, and everything else that's gone on there. So the media here, I'd like to just add to this, the media here has been just pathetic. It's always the anti-Semitic rhetoric here is just through the roof. It's like 1938 on this side of the border. It's Donald Trump is the enemy. Israel's the enemy. They've started all this. It's really gotten out of hand. And even the incident that happened in the synagogue
West Bloomfield.
in West Bloomfield, and we went there many years ago. I'm Jewish, by the way, just for food because we went to the zoo. The fact that they didn't even report that this guy's brother was involved with Hezbollah. I spent a lot of time in Israel. Okay, I understand. I've been down to Gaza before it became the mess that it is now. I've been to the settlements. There's a serious danger, a very pernicious situation for Israelis, for the rest of the world. This is global. And Iran has always basically gotten to the point, well, actually, Iran has always been championing the clarion call for war, for jihad. And we've never really paid attention to it. So the concern I have here, just on Canadian soil, is that there will be a mass casualty event here because the officials here do not take this seriously. They do not take what's going on in Israel very seriously. It's always some sort of imperialist United States fault. Paul, it's got to stop.
I'm up against it here. I'm up against a hard break here coming up within the next 20 seconds. But thank you for that perspective. Very interesting perspective. I hope that your family in Israel stays safe. It is a really, I can't even imagine being in that situation. Again, you're right. Iran's ability to retaliate has diminished, but they are still retaliating. Cluster missiles hit central Israel, killing at least 2 just within the last 24 hours. We're coming right back, 760 WJR.
Hey, Jim Harper here. Quick story. I needed new glasses. And like many of you, I thought, well, I can go online. That's easy. But then I remembered the last time I did that, it wasn't easy. They didn't look good on me and they weren't cheap. So then what? You can't take them back to the store. It's the web. Then I remembered Direct Optical Optique. Many of you got your glasses there. You looked great and had a wonderful experience. And that's what I remembered, the experience. I remembered Mariana, Frame Stylist of the Year, and how great she and her staff were at helping me find the right frame at a good price. And that's all we want, right? And they have two great locations, Haggerty Road north of Maple in West Bloomfield, and in Canton on Ford Road next to the IKEA. Go see Mariana at Direct Optical Optique. She still knows everybody by name. 3 generations of loyal customers for a reason, because you get the attention you deserve. Direct Optical Optique in West Bloomfield and in Canton, and at OptiqueDetroit.com.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return, but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Fox News, I'm Kevin Uretsky. Oil prices spike after Israel strikes Iran's South Pars gas field, the largest such facility in the world. Brent crude, the international benchmark, soaring to at least $108 a barrel. U.S. crude topping $99. The Trump administration taking action to try and stabilize oil prices.
The Treasury Department is easing some sanctions on Venezuela's state-owned oil and gas company, allowing that company to sell oil directly to U.S. firms and the global market.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Meanwhile, the Federal Reserve leaves interest rates unchanged as inflation has yet to cool. Fed Chairman Jay Powell says he has several concerns.
We're going to see persistent inflation, he said. That's what he was worried about. And the escalating war over in Iran, that's a major risk, he says.
Fox Business's Darren Battello reporting America is listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by MapQuest.
Before smartphones, there was MapQuest. Before GPS, there was MapQuest. Before Google Maps, there was MapQuest. And guess what? MapQuest is back. Now on your phone. No printer required. Download the MapQuest app on the App Store or visit mapquest.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by Paramount Roofing. Looking for a roofing company you can trust? Paramount Roofing delivers a 5-star roofing experience made easy. Get your instant free roof quote at weareroofing.com. That's weareroofing.com. Built to last, back for life with no money down, and 5 years, 0% interest. Residential and commercial roofing, Paramount Roofing. We've got a wreck on I-275 southbound after Ann Arbor Road. Ford Road still closed between North Haggerty Road and I-275. Police are investigating an earlier fiery crash there between a car and a semi. Now WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Cloudy skies this afternoon. Might get some snow showers later, a high of 35. Cloudy skies tonight. Rain showers after midnight, a low of 31. Overcast Thursday with a high of 47. I'm Rich Luzensky, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Hey, gang, it's Ryan Ermanni here. I want to tell you about my friends at Game Day Men's Health in Plymouth. I've been working with them since mid-October, and you know by now that in that time, I have never felt better in my adult life. I've lost over 30 pounds. I'm at the lowest weight I've been in my adult life, and it has allowed me the ability to feel better than ever. I'm using them for weight loss, but they specialized in so many more personalized science-based backed men's health treatments. Peptides are huge. Peptide is 2026, my friends, is the year of the peptide. There's no doubt about it. focus on testosterone replacement, medical weight loss, vitamin therapy, all designed specifically for men. Every treatment plan customized to meet your specific needs. At Game Day Men's Health in Plymouth, it is more than just an online point-and-click transaction. It is real people delivering real results. Do yourself a favor. Call them today. It will not cost you a thing to talk to them. Have a complimentary consultation. 734-927-1718. That number again, 734-927-1718. Game Day Men's Health on Ann Arbor Road in Plymouth. 734-927-1718.
Life is beautiful and fragile. We fall. We get tired. And sometimes we get sick. But with Corewell Health, we are also strong. We fight disease. We battle cancer. We come together. We come back. We push forward. When the body breaks, we break through. Corewell Health. We can.
This St. Patrick's Day, the real luck is waiting at Genesis Cadillac. Celebrating with offers that'll make everyone green with envy. Right now, get 2.9% APR for 60 months plus rebates up to $2,000 on select new Cadillac models. Looking for pre-owned? Shop one of the area's largest selections of certified pre-owned Cadillacs. Visit our 9 Mile Road in St. Clair Shores or shop online today at genesiscadillac.com. Then, drive home to your own pot of gold. Genesis Cadillac. Your luck starts here.
Probate is bad. It takes time, it costs money, and everything becomes public record. The best way to avoid probate is with a revocable living trust. A revocable living trust keeps you in control. Who receives your assets, what they receive, and when they receive it. My friends at Estate Planning Legal Services have been serving Metro Detroit for over 25 years, and they make it simple. Call Estate Planning Legal Services for your free consultation today at 248-435-0400 or go to EPLSPC.com.
At Average Amy's Coffee Corner, our coffee has caffeine, our muffins are cooked, and our services, well, we're here. Come on by for an average cup of joe.
Average doesn't build great businesses. Cumulus Digital does, outperforming industry benchmarks by more than 25%. We deliver smarter digital marketing to over 4,000 local businesses every month and drive real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
Never miss
The Daily Dose.
The Daily Dose.
The Daily Dose.
The Daily Dose
of Deets.
The Daily Dose of Deets.
Coming up at 2 o'clock on JR Afternoon, let the games begin. March Madness gets underway. Michigan State, the Spartans play in the afternoon. The Wolverines play at night. We'll get a preview on all of it coming up 2 o'clock, 760 WJR.
Day
Social media should not get a pass just because it's digital.
and into tomorrow. The Daily Dose of Deets. First thing out of the gate on All Talk with Kevin Dietz. Weekdays at 9 on WJR.
Your morning is busy, so we'll keep it brief. Upgrade your routine with WJR's 5 Things First Thing. JR Morning with Chris, Lloyd, and Jamie break down the top 5 stories in just 5 minutes. Delivered straight to your device. Start your day by hitting play. Subscribe today on the always free WJR app.
Wake up tomorrow with JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on 760 WJR. Right now, it's JR Afternoon with Ryan Ermanni.
Before I move on and get to the Oscars ratings, which is incredibly low, or at least lower than what they've done 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and we'll talk about some of the reasons why. Let me get to Wayne in Lake Orion. How you doing, Wayne? You're on 760 WJR. Thanks for the call, my friend.
I'm doing fine, Ryan, and thanks for taking my call. And I want to echo the fact that I think you're doing a super job. But I'm going to digress from the war just for a second.
Please.
To bring a little levity. To bring a little levity to the situation.
Love it.
But it's along the lines of those folks who what made me think about it was you make the comment that people criticize, but they don't come forward with what would they do in that situation.
Yes.
Well, I have a similar gripe, I'll say, with the left, generally speaking, when it comes to taxes. They always say they want the wealthy to pay their fair share, but no one ever comes out and says just what the fair share is.
Well, I'll tell you what the fair share is not, and I've got a topic ready to go. I meant to do it over the last couple of days. It is the mass exodus of all of these millionaires and billionaires from states like California and Washington. Washington State just passed this millionaire tax, and the next day, Howard Schultz, somebody who lived in Washington for 44 years, is out the next day. And
Wow.
maybe we'll do that tomorrow or on Friday. Tomorrow we have a shortened show because Michigan
I
State
will
takes
tune
over
in
these
and listen.
airwaves. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. But the number of millionaires leaving states like California and Washington State now, I have a list of it and the statistics on it. It is staggering. It is staggering.
Are you going to cover the proposed California wealth tax, the one-time wealth tax?
Yes, that is why
Okay.
that is why they're leaving.
Okay.
And Washington State just passed it at the end of last week, I believe Thursday of last week, and Howard Schultz announced he was leaving, the founder of Starbucks.
Wow.
So
Okay, I'll go look into that.
yeah, look into that. Just all you got to do is Google Howard Schultz leaving Washington, and a million stories will pop up. Thanks so much, Wayne. I wanted to get to this because this was recent. The Oscar ratings are in, and they're not good. They're not good considering where they have been. 17.9 million people. It sounds like a lot, but it is down 9% from last year. They are the lowest since 2022. And if you go back 20 years, in 1996, 45 million people watched the Oscars. 45 million in 1996. In 2006, 10 years later, it was 36 million. In 2016, 10 years after that, 34 million. And in 2026, 18 million people. You have lost half your audience in the last 10 years. And in those 20 years, in those actually 30 years, the average age of the viewer went from 50 years old to 63 years old, the average age of the Oscars. 63 years old. Young people aren't watching movies. And I think one of the reasons is because obviously social media and everything like that. But I have always considered the Oscars to essentially be compared to the NFL. The NFL's numbers aren't dropping. And I know that there's different metrics now, and people are cutting the cord and all of these things. But you can watch the Oscars a number of different ways, just like you can watch NFL games a number of different ways. On any given year over the last 25, 30 years, if you look at the top 100 shows each year, 95 of them are NFL football games, and the other 5 are like the Oscars or the Music Awards or something like that, or some big finale to like a Seinfeld show or something like that. But the Oscars were in that category, and I think twofold, probably more than that. One, Hollywood doesn't make good movies anymore. They just don't. What's the last movie you were excited to run to the theater to go see that wasn't a superhero movie, something from the Marvel universe or a sequel of some kind? Beth Ann, Danielle, you're the younger audience in here. What is the last movie you rushed to the movie theater or couldn't wait to go see at the theater that was not a sequel or not a superhero movie?
Wicked. The first one.
Fair.
And also The Wild Robot. I was really invested in that one.
Okay, never heard about that.
Never heard of that.
You guys should look it up. It's on Netflix right now. Okay.
Okay.
I would say either Wicked or I was huge into the Hunger Games when I was younger. So
Okay.
when they expanded that.
When's the last? When is? I'm not a Hunger Game. My wife is. I should probably know this. But what is the last Hunger Games movie that was?
I was a senior in college, so I think that was 2023.
Okay, so again, that would be some sort of sequel, though.
Yeah, that was like sequel, prequel.
And even me, I think the last movie I could not wait to go see was Top Gun Maverick,
Oh,
which
yeah.
ultimately was a sequel, but I'm going to put that in a category of its own. There are so many different things now that, like the Oscars, for instance, the quotas that you have to reach, that you have to attain to even be considered for a Best Picture movie. So many to list. I've got an entire page here. If you're watching on YouTube, here's the list of just one page of criteria. And again, I love my hard copy. The amount of paper that I use to print is probably killing trees all over the place. But if you use today's standard as a guide, these movies would not have qualified for Best Picture. Godfather Part 1, Godfather Part 2, out. Departed, out. Beautiful Mind, out. Braveheart, out. Forrest Gump, out. Titanic, never would have won. Schindler's List. Those are just some of the movies, some of the great iconic films of all time would not have been even allowed to compete for Best Picture in the Oscars because none of them follow these new guidelines for the Oscars. And I don't think a lot of people like being talked down to as well. Again, by people who fly private, who live behind gates and walls, and who have cars pull up door service to them. I just don't think they care about listening to an 18, 20, 25-year-old like Billie Eilish tell people whose land is stolen and whose land is not. The preaching, the talking down to. I don't think people like that, even though Billie Eilish wasn't at the Oscars, but you get the picture. 760 WJR.
Planning spring business travel? Start your trip the professional way with Metro Cars. Let a professional Metro Car chauffeur pick you right up at your doorstep and take you directly to curbside check-in. For executives and corporate travelers, time and reliability matter, whether you're catching an early morning flight, arriving for an important meeting, or arranging transportation for visiting clients and leadership teams. Metro Cars provides dependable airport transportation designed around your schedule. With experienced chauffeurs on a premium fleet of sedans, SUVs, vans, and buses, Metro Cars delivers a comfortable, quiet ride that allows you to stay focused and arrive prepared. Celebrating over 35 years of excellence, Metro Cars is proud to serve as the official transportation provider of 760 WJR. When your schedule matters and professionalism counts, trust the transportation company Michigan business travelers have relied on for 4 decades. Reserve your ride today at metrocars.com.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensate for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Hi, I'm Adam Devine, Chief Fundraiser for Children's Miracle Network. No. I said more fun! When I was a kid, a Children's Miracle Network hospital helped me get back on my feet, literally. So trust me when I say that these places aren't just hospitals. They are hope factories. Children's Miracle Network is hospitals, programs, partners, and donors like you. Join us in making big change for all kids. Visit us online at cmn.org.
I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. We make mortgages easy, and we believe transparency is the key to great client service. Our clients get the lowest rate and fees while communicating with one home loan advisor from start to finish. To make your experience even easier, we're going to cover the cost of your appraisal. Transparent and direct communication, lowest rates and fees, and a free appraisal. The client just means more at Hall Financial. 866-CALL-HALL or callhallfirst.com.
Hall Financial, Equal Housing Lender. NMLS number 1467435.
WJR Traffic and Weather first.
This report is sponsored by MapQuest.
Before smartphones, there was MapQuest. Before GPS, there was MapQuest. Before Google Maps, there was MapQuest. And guess what? MapQuest is back. Now on your phone. No printer required. Download the MapQuest app on the App Store or visit mapquest.com.
We have an accident blocking your left shoulder on I-275 southbound after Ann Arbor Road. And please keep in mind, I-275 southbound, your off-ramp to westbound M14 closed for construction, and Ford Road closed between North Haggerty Road and I-275 due to an accident. Police are investigating an earlier fiery crash there between a car and a semi. Use an alternate route like Warren Road or Cherry Hill Road. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Getting back to average tomorrow and some above average temperatures Friday, but it is another cold day today with some light snows on radar coming in from the northwest. The radar looks like wintertime instead of March. 35 this afternoon, 32 tonight. Cloudy on Thursday, high 46. Cloudy on Friday, high 57. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore at the Weather Channel on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
760 WJR. Steve Courtney in the house. Always a pleasure to see my guy.
What's happening?
You, baby.
You doing all right?
Feeling like $1 million, Steve-O.
Well, let me just say this, my friend, as it applies to the World Baseball Classic. Team USA was billed as the greatest baseball roster ever assembled.
Uh-oh.
How did it pan out, you're asking yourself? Well, they lose to Venezuela in the championship game last night, 3-2. Here is the quote from our skipper, Mark DeRosa. For some reason, the WBC has become a tidal wave of emotion for a lot of guys. You get them in the room representing their country, coming together for 2.5 weeks. The buy-in, it's infectious in there. So, we all know what went down. Bryce Harper, who didn't really have a very good WBC from a statistical standpoint, hit a 2-run shot, ties it up. And then you have the Eugenio Suarez tie-breaking double in the top of the ninth. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I truly enjoy watching WBC.
Same.
I do. My question to you is, because there are some who are still under the impression in these great United States that it's much more popular in baseball-loving countries such as the Dominican Republic, Venezuela, winning their first championship, Japan, Korea, et cetera, et cetera. Do you think the WBC has the vibe in the United States?
Not yet, but maybe this was the tipping point. Because of what we just saw with both the men and women's hockey teams, the sheer joy, the raw emotion, the celebration, the impact it had on them, I think this American baseball team, the Team USA, wanted to experience that. We saw them walking in with the Team USA hockey jerseys on.
Right.
Tarek Skubal, and I think Tarek Skubal was a perfect example of what is becoming of the WBC. I think he was like, cool, I'll be a part of it, until he got there and was like, holy crap. I did not realize I was going to feel like this until I put that uniform on.
And that's understandable.
And got around all of these people and really tried to make it work where he could pitch again. But you do have to plan for this if you're a player, if you're a pitcher specifically, because of the way you work. I mean, he will start a game for the Tigers in 9 days. Could that have been part of the reason? But I don't think these players know how they're going to feel about it until they are a part of it. And for anybody that says it doesn't matter, did you see Miguel Cabrera and Victor Martinez yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
They were crying.
Sure.
And I would
a big moment for them.
would submit to you that had Victor Martinez and Miguel Cabrera won a World Series title with the Detroit Tigers, neither of them would have cried.
Well, and can you take it a step further, Ryan, because of the political landscape?
100%. And that
everything going on there.
I was happy for him. I love Team USA. I was rooting for them, but I was absolutely happy for the Venezuelans, for
I was
Miguel
happy
Cabrera.
for Venezuela. Yeah.
I absolutely was happy for them.
Now, my question, and this is the last one. Is there any way to change up the timing of the WBC?
That I don't know.
Could it be after the MLB season? I don't know, because there's so many balls in the air right now, so to speak. With spring training in full effect, you've got some people saying no, they don't want to be a part of it. They're concentrating on their team stuff. So we'll see.
Here's what you could do. You could eliminate the All-Star break and have an Olympic-style 2-week mid-season tournament like the NHL.
Yeah.
That would be
that
would be, to me, I think, the solution. That would be the solution.
It would have to be bang, 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 though.
Bang, bang, bang. Yes. Oh, you might even be able to do that over the course of a 10-day period. Right. Really, a week and a half.
Let's look into it, shall we?
Let's double click on that.
The next WBC, by the way, you'll have to wait till 2030. Grapefruit League for your Tigers. They're in action tonight, 6:05, as a matter of fact, in Bradenton against the Pirates. Then after that, just 4 spring training games left. Right now, the Tigers 7, 11, and 5. Remember, they get this season started officially on March 26th in San Diego. That'll be a 3-game series. All right, so the Lions get their edge rusher.
Lions, baby.
DJ Wanham signs a 1-year deal worth up to $6 million. He is a former Carolina Panther. He only had 3 sacks this past season, despite starting 15 games for the Panthers.
DJ, don't want him. Sorry, but
let me just address this with you, because I just shared this, and Lions Nation under the impression an edge rusher should have been at the top of Brad Holmes' list. But I'm certainly, when you peruse social media, sometimes being the cesspool that it is, I'm sensing a lot of dejection from Lions fans heading into the draft. Do you agree with that?
I completely agree with the fact that there's that feeling out there. I do not share that, though. I believe this offense is as deadly as it comes in the NFL. I still think that. I still think that the schedule is as weak a schedule as you could have
for the first time in a while
in the NFL. I challenge anybody to find a schedule weaker than the Lions will play. And I think they'll figure it out. It does not look like they have anybody to stop anybody right now, though.
As it stands.
Aiden Hutchinson, Aleem McNeil, Jack Campbell, and who? But I think they'll figure it out.
DJ Wanham.
DJ don't want him. That's my.
Here's a quick thought here, and this is, no secret. A couple of years ago, you have a 17-point halftime lead on the 49ers, looking like we're going to a Super Bowl. It doesn't happen. Then the following postseason, you're a favorite over the Commanders, and you lose that. I think the expectation, right, wrong, or indifferent, for Lions fans is a hell of a lot higher than the talent that Brad Holmes has brought in to date. That's all I'm saying.
Period. End of story.
And that's it.
Period. End of story. There's no doubt about it. I completely agree with you. And I do think Brad Holmes has missed the mark in terms of the quote-unquote going for it guy. We saw the Tigers this year, and Scott Harris. Seemingly, I don't think there's anybody in baseball that says Tigers aren't going for it. I would like to see all the stories of the Lions say, we're going for it. Because time is running out.
Well, and there are 9 picks in the upcoming draft. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Speaking of time running out, time has run out on me. Don't
Always
go
a pleasure,
anywhere.
sir.
The Mitch Albom Show is next, 760 WJR.